Let's talk about decks, baby. Let's talk about 2 or 3. Let's talk about all the good ones and the bad ones that we've seen. Let's talk about decks. Let's talk about decks.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my video response to Amber in Wonderland's question, what tarot and oracle deck did you work with in the beginning, and which ones do you work with the most now? The first tarot deck I had, and this was a gift, was the Aquarian Tarot, which I'm sure you're all pretty much familiar with. I'm going to try and keep this in shot here. And as you can see, this one is really worn out. I didn't do this. This is how it came to me, and God knows who beat it up like this in the short time it had been around before it came to me, because I think this deck was only published about about 7 years before I got it. So this was my first tarot deck. And I didn't take to it. I don't think it's because I didn't like it. I liked the images. I found it really attractive, and I wanted to work with it. I think the real reason I didn't take to it is because I was just so new to tarot. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was trying to memorize the meanings, you know, the way we all do, and I just wasn't making great progress. So this never really got the use it deserved. I will keep it forever because I love it and because it was a gift. And I may even actually get it out sometime and start using it. I love that sun. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. I always love the sun card. Anyway, so that was the one I started out with. My first oracle deck was, well, I mean, in those days, and we're talking nearly 40 years ago, I didn't even know what an oracle deck was. I'd never heard of an oracle deck. All I knew was tarot. So I would go to the bookshops and I would look in the tarot section. And one day I found this guy. And this is a Morgan's Tarot. But when I saw the image on the box, and actually I went looking for the box and I can't find it, I think I must have totally destroyed it because I loved this deck to death. Let me see if I can find the card. Oh yeah, this was the image that was on the cover of the box. Who am I? And that intrigued me. I liked that, and I liked the style, this sort of hippy-dippy black and white line drawing business, and I thought, oh, I'll buy that. Obviously it wasn't too expensive, because I didn't have a lot of money to spend on decks in those days. I don't have a lot of money to spend on them now, but I still do. And this deck I used a lot. And I think the reason for that is because it came with no meanings. None. I'm just going to put this down for a second. We'll leave it on Who Am I? This is all that came with it. This little sheet of paper with sort of a facetious sort of history and explanation of the deck, long involved thing number 1 and long involved thing number 2, and a pretty straightforward explanation of how to do a Celtic cross. And that was it. No meanings for the cards at all. So if I was going to use them, I had to use my intuition. And that was it. And that was great. You know, I mean, who couldn't, you know, appreciate the wisdom of tomato, potato, eggplant? I mean, this is such a deep and meaningful deck. And I laugh, but yeah, actually it is a deep and meaningful deck, you know, and I loved it for that reason. The next real tarot deck I got was an ordinary Rider-Waite-Smith. In fact, it was one of the little mini ones, so I could cart it around with me. But yeah, I used that, or struggled with that for many years, and really actually read with this guy, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. And still do. I mean, this is still to hand at my desk. So that's where I started. That was then, this is now. Now the tarot deck I use the most is your ordinary Rider-Waite-Smith. I love it. What can I say? You know, you don't need to see it. You know what it looks like. Yeah, everybody knows what it looks like. You either love it or you hate it, or you really don't care one way or the other. I love it. I couldn't be happier with the deck. So that's my go-to deck now. Not much needs to be said about that. My go-to oracle at the moment is the Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer. The back on that, see if I can get that without too much. Ooh, I can see sort of a reflection of me. Hi everybody, see me waving. I love that sort of tree, the tree growing, and it looks like the roots reflected in the water there. Beautiful deck. yeah, this is my go-to oracle at the moment. And why is that? Why is that? I think it's because there's just something about the images and the simple, a description of the image and one little keyword. But somehow this just triggers connections easily for me. I mean, as easily as, as anything like this goes for me. So I adore this one, and I use this one quite a bit because it's easy. I always seem to go with the easy option, but, look at that. Love that. Yeah, yeah. Is it my favorite oracle deck? Possibly not. If you were to ask me what my favorite is at the moment, I would say it's probably, and I'm just going to pop that down so you can see it, but again, you probably all know what it looks like, is the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I think that's my favorite one, but I haven't been working with it very much. I think I'm probably just waiting for the right time to really get stuck into it, because I think there's a lot of meat on the bone with this one. But I haven't done that yet. Maybe come the summer, if I've got a bit more free time, I'll be working with this a bit more. But for the moment, this is the deck I grab for an oracle reading. Love it. And that's it. There really isn't much more to say about it. That's my response. Looking forward to seeing yours. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.